Hello, good morning. Welcome to CC with Michael. So today we have news on center dispersing money to sustain recovery in state. But more than what we studied in Lashmikant, or what we're going to study in Lashmikant about the center state fiscal relations. So that is something you need to study: fiscal federalism, how things are arranged there. Also, related concept is finance commission. So, finance commission in general. But this article does not really have something specific, so you can just read this. What is fiscal federalism and how finance commission is a major part of that relationship between center and state, right? Then a small news about tribal people in India. So who is Birsa Munda? He's present in our history books, but little detail you need to know what is who is Birsa Munda. Then Jatiya Gaurav Divas, you can look into that. And overall, tribal welfare is a significant topic in UPSC, but I guess we'll look into that in the coming days. Supreme Court note for elevation of Kripal as Delhi High Court judge. This could be a case study, ethics, or an example in ethics. See, this is about equality and progressive thinking. So it's glad to see that Indian courts are leading that charge. So some of these examples could be cited down, and you can write it if it only you have it in a note, you will be able to revise and properly use it. So please note that down in couple of words, not in long sentences, maybe one sentence maximum. Okay, so make sure that it's a process. But then as you go on, you would be able to be more concise and more concise after day. So keep that process going. Right. Then we have exception to the rule, an article on CBI and ED officers extension of their tenure. So read that. It gives like how autonomy will be compromised, and it's like CBI has been called a caged parrot, right? So the essence of the article is that this is a move which furthers that or rather reduces the autonomy of CBI and ED. So please look into that. There are certain keywords: doctrine of pleasure, underline, unacceptable beholden to the government. You can use these phrases, right? So whatever I've underlined, please pay attention to those keywords. You can use that. Not required. That is the news on T20 cricket. Pegasus inquiry must reverse a chilling effect. Again, a good article which gives you dimension as to how the different aspects, what are the different aspects of Pegasus issue. So if you already just not know Pegasus, please look into that. You'll be having certain details here, right? And then what are the dimensions? Say like what is the concern with privacy, what is the concern with freedom of speech, and then slightly there is like what is the concern with politics in India, how it compromises things, worrying silence, certain keywords are there. All these things you can look into, but don't waste too much of time. It's a long article, we know that, but you can just finish it quickly. Don't need to read the entire thing. And similar is the case for batting. It's an article on bats. So there has been a lot of preconception with Nipah happening, COVID happening, about bats as a carriers of diseases. So basically the issue is of human interference with the wildlife. So we are destroying crops, rather we are destroying forest, we are destroying other natural ecosystems like mines and caves, mines and caves and all those things. So it does affect the ecology of these wild animals, and they come to us, and that's how these diseases are caused. So make sure you read that. Again, the portions which are highlighted, some of these are very very specific factual things which does not have much of use. So even I found this case study to be interesting, but then there was no logical conclusion to it. The Bomo clan in Nagaland, how traditions celebrate annual bashes, but then they are just studying it. So I thought this is not much of a relevant thing. So Just read that, like, what are bats? Bats are mammals. That much of basic things also be understood. Bats are mammals എന്നുള്ള കാര്യം നമുക്ക് അറിയേണ്ടതാണ്. അത്തരം കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ നോക്കി വെക്കുക. This debacle of demonetization, I don't think that's going to be make a much a difference. That's an old article, an old issue, and this is not going to be recurring in UPSC anymore. So I just left that. Now, EU's role in Indo-Pacific. See, Indo-Pacific is important. It could be a question any day in UPSC mains. So it's a very crucial area, crucial geographical region which has been in news repeatedly, or which is the most pivot area as far as geopolitics is concerned. So if that can be a question, you should be aware of what the different stakeholders are, what different role each stakeholder can play. So this is just one point in this larger issue. So treat it as it is. Does not give do not give much of importance rather than what is required. So what EU can do. So by reading this article, you will get an idea like what EU can do, what is EU's position. But if you should make an entire note on this, no, not at all. It's just a sub point that you can add in a topic like Indo-Pacific. You have Indo-Pacific in the kidil namukku ottri topics varam. Maybe Code could be there, maybe AUKUS could be there. So EU could be an additional dimension. That's all. Now, silver line on the right track. What is silver line? We know that. Like beyond that, there is not much importance. Now, electoral funding in India is a major issue as far as transparency and fair play in politics is concerned. Right, so the unaccounted sources of money, black money, money laundering, etc. are associated with electoral politics in India. So നമുക്ക് പാകിസ്ഥാനിലെ തമിഴ്നാട്ടിലൊക്കെ മണി ഡിസ്ട്രിബ്യൂഷനൊക്കെ കാണാൻ പറ്റും അല്ലേ. large hoards of money are raided during elections. So that's an issue. What is electoral bonds? I need to know. Like, it's a thing that is introduced 2 or 3 years back now. So you need to know what that is. Right, so അത്രയും കാര്യങ്ങൾ നോക്കുക. Electoral funding, you need to make a note, but maybe we'll wait for another good article to come up and then we'll make on that. Audience is expected speaker order. Just understand the argument about this thing. Same tenure extension is this. So just understand that. That's all. What is Kartarpur corridor? It's been in the second day that the news is being repeated. So just understand what is Kartarpur corridor. Where is it? What's the significance of Kartarpur corridor? It's about Sikh pilgrims to cross over northern. Okay. So that was a major issue, like major topic, not an issue, major topic like 3 years back, 2008, 19 something. Then hasn't repeated much. Just refresh your, brush up if you already know. If does not know, like just look into it. Just on it's like okay, and Kartarpur, that's enough. See this crypto market. What is it? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, എന്താണെന്നുള്ളത് നമുക്ക് നേരത്തെ ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റൻ ആയിട്ട് ഇട്ടതാണ്. So this, you have to understand what is cryptocurrency. A related concept is blockchain. All these things have been നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ക്വസ്റ്റൻ ആയിട്ട് know your MCQ series ഇട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്. So if you just click on know your MCQ, that hashtag, it will take you to one of these question on blockchain. That would be nice. Now this is a grave realization, acceptance of the reality. We always hear about pollution in North India and then associated farm fires, stubble burning and associated, but stubble burning is just a small element. It's just only 10% of the air pollution contributes to. Okay, so that is just a small thing, but rather the major issue is urban factors like industry, vehicular emission, exhaust, vehicular emission, road dust. So this is a realization just to clear the air. We tend to, when you write answers on Delhi pollution and all, people prioritize stubble burning as the most important point. This is not our fault, but this is how it has been framed ever since. But you have to understand, it's not the stubble burning that's a major factor. It's the urban pollution, the emissions and all the things that are happening in the boundaries of Delhi itself that's causing this such a bad air quality in Delhi. So please understand that. What could be the urban factors? Read that. So just read that. ICMR modes change in cattle rearing practices. Nothing much, just to go along with the climate change bandwagon. Nothing more than that. Don't have to read much, study much. Just read that four or five lines. That's enough. It's just about getting a sense of what is happening more than studying that in detail. So sometimes just getting a sense is good enough. WPI inflation. What is WPI inflation? You have to specifically know that all about WPI. What is WPI? Who publishes it? Significance, etc. So inflation is also same thing can be done for inflation. That's one more article would be there. Yeah. So assessing the digital gap and learning losses. See, why digital gap is required to be understood, how it is impacting, that needs to be understood. Solutions you need to understand. So these articles, the test test and context is basically kind of more factual and less and less analytical. So when it was started, I thought like it would be more analytical, but alas, that's not so. So yeah, you have to do our work on a little bit, because we have read this article a couple of times now. So try to understand what the digital gap is. Digital gap and digital divide. I think digital divide would be a better keyword and a more broader one. So try to make a note on digital divide in India. Not just about education, but about other areas like governance, health, all those aspects. You can make a note on digital divide. Why, in the sense that you have to understand some introductions and facts about that. All those things are very needed. So anyhow, this digital divide is being repeated, so we must take conscious of that and build a note. So digital divide comes under the topic of governance in GS2. So integrated, you can study governance and social justice. It has also a huge role to play in social justice, because education, health, all that comes under social justice, right? So governance and education is intertwined. And again gives a sense of what air defense system S400 is. So read this very quickly, because it's been repeating a lot of time now, but by now I'm sure everybody would be knowing what S400 Triumph is. So just read this, what is their significance, that's all. Yeah, so that's pretty much about it. Couple of notes to be made, do that. And also probably you will get the same article in the channel briefing. So I'm sure do not spend too much of time on making notes. Go through it quickly and you will be able to complete that. Alright, have a good day.